Hello, Mayana. It's such a joy to see you and talk to you. I've been following some of your work because I've become very interested in your free webinars that have come through my radar, because I'm interested in your work with people and mindfulness, and there are many things I'm curious about. For example, you talk about metaphysics and you talk about mindfulness. So
Joo-Lee, how are you?
oh, I'm well. I'm very excited. Can
I'm
you tell?
excited to be here. Thank you so much for offering. This is really nice. Just
Yeah.
to give a little background, I interviewed Joo-Lee actually because Joo-Lee is a fantastic dance doctor, and Joo-Lee, out of all the people that I interviewed, was the first one and only one person with a kind and big enough heart to say, Mayana, why don't I interview you? Would you like that? And I thought that was terribly kind. Because nobody else asked. So I just want to acknowledge you first and say really thank you, and thank you for today and your time.
Well, it's good to do these interviews because we are able to share with more people about what you
Yeah,
do. And also, I think it's lovely to be able to talk about what you do. Because when you gave me that interview, it allowed me to express what I really did. So,
yeah.
so I'm actually genuinely curious about yourself.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
And
So,
by the way, just to let the people know, there's actually a viewing list on YouTube. All of the interview that I did for people are on that list. And so if you want to see Joo-Lee's dance interview, please go to the list is going to be below this video. So you can just click on it and it'll bring you onto, the playlist where people are being interviewed. Now, okay,
we're ready to dive in.
ready
We're
to
ready to
dive
dive
in.
in. Okay, so Mayana is
Yes.
someone I've admired because of her work, because of her manner, and because of her passion to help people. So, Mayana, how do you help people? What do you do for people?
Thanks, Jolie. Well, I have two things that I really, really specialize in, and two things that I love to help people getting into. Number one, it's very simple. Number one is getting free on the inside.
Yes,
It's this internal wiring I call. If you have mental, emotional freedom, a
yes,
lot of things can happen in your life that would have been previously stuck because most
yes,
people are sick with worry, sick with fear. And so this is, for me, it's a number one. I guess it's also called mindfulness.
yeah,
I call it integrated practical awareness. So it's IPA. So it's a way of coming back to yourself no matter what happens. If you're in the office or in the car with the kids, or if you've just got a massively bad news, or if there's somebody that irritates the crap out of you,
yes.
these are steps you can use, right? And you can, they're on free webinars here and there and free ebook on the website. But I mean, the point is how to get peace of mind permanently. And I know what some people are thinking. They're like, well, now hold on a minute, that's not possible, right? You couldn't possibly have peace of mind permanently, but you can, because it's a practice you can adopt. And even turning adversity to your own advantage, if you begin to use your own life as your teacher, then you can get free from this tyrannical bind, I call it, the mind emotional.
We often think about peace of mind being affected by external circumstances. So, for
That's
example,
right.
we often say, if I win the lottery, I'll be
Yeah.
fine, everything will be fine. So what would you say about, waiting till we win the lottery or waiting till everything is in place in our lives in order for peace of mind to be possible?
Right. I would say that this is the way that everybody has gone about it, and the way we were taught as well, which is to set ourselves up for major failure, right? Because if we're still expecting the external to give us an internal state, it's never going to happen, because there's always going to be something on the outside that's going to precipitate a feeling on the inside. So what I propose with the work that I do is that we learn it from the inside, and then it replicates on the outside as very, very different results, right? So I know I talk to people and they're like, oh no, well, I have some peace of mind because I have a nice house and a nice car and stuff. And I'm like, well, what what's going to happen if that house goes, or if your job goes. And people get depressed. People, some people even do away with themselves. I mean, it's terrible because they don't have the resources of knowing how to get to that state of peace no matter what happens on the outside. So like you could be shackled in prison literally, and most people are, because emotionally speaking, if you're in fear, you're pretty much in prison, right? If you can liberate yourself from the inside out, this is a winner. This is what allows people to have daily peace of mind no matter what is going on in their lives. So that's the first step. Just to come back to the first question earlier on, the second step I use is, once you have enough peace of mind and you can see a little clearer, I suppose enough awareness as well, simply just enough awareness. Some people work with that their whole life and that's all they work with. So if they have good self-awareness, for them it's enough, right? And I had very good self-awareness for a number of years. I was traveling in India and I had a handful of spiritual teachers. I won't name any because then we're getting lost into, ideas and things we don't need to. But I had a very strong, steady practice for many, many years, maybe 20, 25 years, right? I'm doing all this since I was really, really young. So that's why I can say so many years. And then, I had a husband and I had kids and I had business and everything. And I found that no matter how much awareness I had, it didn't really help some of the replicating thought forms and therefore results I was getting. So, health problems or money problems or emotional type problems, some things were replicating. So you could really be aware of everything and you could be seeing your own problems really clearly, right? Which doesn't necessarily take you to the next level. And so when I had that playing in my own life, I guess I was about 25, 26. I really, as I said, I had good awareness, but I kept on seeing these things replicating. And I thought, this is crazy. I mean, how do you change that? And I found that unless you go and affect the subconscious, which is where all the memories and all the programming are replaying from, you're never going to get free enough. So that work, looking into that and having my own problems, like everybody else, my own challenges, led me to keep on looking, where do these problems come from and how can we at least, if not clear them, be aware of them and make different choices, and that led me to the second step that I offer. So the first one is, more self-awareness and peace of mind. And then the second step is made up of, tools that you can begin to clear the subconscious with. And this is really the game changer. And this is really how people can create a completely different life, whether it's at home with a beloved, in a relationship, whether it's at work, whether it's with the kids or with health or hereditary patterns or illnesses. If you've come across some of my material, you also know I had cancer and spontaneous remission in 1 year. And this is, the second step is very much to do with being able to clear what's in the subconscious and have a regular daily practice, right? That you're able to clear what is in you that's stopping you from reaching the next level in whatever, part of life that you want to. I'm not talking about any specific problems, because for me, the way I understand things, it's like you could look at finances, health, or relationship, right? I mean, we're human. So this is mainly the main topics you're going to come across. The common denominator in anything you're looking at in your own life is you, right?
Yes.
So you could go and look at the financial problem, or you could go and look at the health problem, or the relationship problem, or your connection to your own God, whatever you think that is. And you could go and affect everything again on the outside, or go, well, hold on a minute, who's the common denominator here? And the common denominator is you, of course. And who is you? You are a made up amount of values and beliefs which make up your perception, and this is very much how you trace your own destiny. So unless you can change your own signal, we're not going anywhere. We're like on a merry-go-round. So this is the main 2 steps I work with.
So it sounds as though we repeat our own patterns.
Absolutely.
We repeat bits of history.
Absolutely.
So when you talk about clearing our subconscious, what does that mean?
Well, it's to become, first of all, aware, hence the first step, step number 1, having enough awareness and knowing that, you can free yourself, but it's going to have to, it's an inside job, I always say. It's like it's an inside job. It's not going to happen from the outside in. It's going to be, okay, let me see where I'm holding enough fear. So, some people are afraid of, I don't know, never losing the weight they've been holding on to, or never making enough money. And so that stops them from, keep on trying. When I work with people who do entrepreneurial ventures, or whether it's somebody in their own, oh God, my phone is going, I never switched it off. Can you hear that?
No.
Oh, okay, that's good. So whether it's somebody who's trying to get ahead in business in their own department, or trying to create something new, the mindsets that are going to stop that is, I'm not good enough. I could never make that happen. Look at he or she over there. They can do it, but I can't. Or eventually, it's not that the business is not good, but it is that the person gets fed up trying. And that means that the internal wiring, what I call the internal wiring, is the mental emotional, connection, which is what I was talking about in the first step, that ends up being completely worn down. And the only reason why your business doesn't do well, usually we'll say that's a 95% reason, is that people get exhausted, people get fed up trying. And so that's the resilience piece that they're missing, right? And they don't believe in themselves. They don't believe it's really going to happen. And this would be one of the mindset to clear. Okay, so whatever anybody's holding up as a mindset, like my stuff isn't good enough, their stuff is good but mine isn't, that is the mindset to clear.
When we try something new and come out of our comfort zone, be it learning to dance or starting a new business or embarking on a new project, our comfort zone will be very much challenged. So when our first few steps don't quite work, isn't it so easy for us then to make a predictive statement to ourselves?
Absolutely.
Not working. And then the next statement could be, it'll never work.
Yeah. And that's one thing for sure, that it won't, because I use a very, very simple drawing, which goes like this: thoughts, emotions, and physical results, right? So imagine 3 circles, and you've seen that at the webinars, probably the free webinars: thoughts, emotions, physical stuff. So with each thought that we think, there's going to be an emotion following that, right? So if I say to you, you look great today,
yes,
you're going to go, thank you. And if I say, oh gosh, did you get any sleep, because you look a little tired to me, you can't help it, you're going to feel a little bit down, right? And this is what we do to ourselves. So when we try something, right, and we go, oh God, that's not good enough, or we use comparison, even worse is a comparison thing, or I'm never going to make it happen. How do you feel when you say, this is never going to work for me?
The moment we actually say it, it makes us believe what we've just said.
Yeah, but that's right.
Why do we make predictive statements? Why do we try as human beings? Why do we, when one small thing doesn't work, why do we exaggerate by saying it'll never work?
Because this is something that we've learned along the way. So it'll have been done in school when we were kids, sometimes even by parents. This is part of what I call the programming. We're not aware of it because it's in subconscious. Okay? Subconsciously speaking, we're 99.99999 programmed. So when we think we're being really original and we're doing this amazing thing and it's going to be fantastic, the initial thought is really, really good, but soon enough the programming shows up. What do I mean by the programming is everything you've just said. Or I'm not good enough, or this isn't going to work. This is something we've heard somewhere that we ended up believing. You know, maybe in school you were told, I don't mean you, Joo-Lee, but let's say, you know, somebody sitting out here, and they were told, oh, you're never going to be any good at that. I wouldn't bother trying if I was.
It's like a predictive statement.
That's it. And because we keep, this is the voice in the head, this is the programming, right? That's like, we keep on hearing that, we keep on replaying the same tape. And the thing about feelings are made up of thought plus emotion equals feeling, and the feeling feeds the belief. That is the engine of creation in whether it's business, whether it's a relationship, whether it's health. This is what's going to feed this is the motor engine behind the actions we take. So when we hear something, it really depends how we take it, you know, and what we make out of it, right? Because if you hit a bump on the road on the way to growing your business, which there will be many bumps on the road, right? And if that's what people call failure. I say this in bracket because you could go, oh God, that's it, that's not working, I'm not doing this again, clearly I'm not good out for it. Or you could go, wow, that's interesting, that really didn't work out for me, so let me take out what I've learned from it and find another way to approach that. It's a completely different feeling, right? If you go, oh well, that's not working for me, or you go, okay, that's not a winner, definitely not a winner.
Not yet.
Not yet, exactly. The yet is really good there. But let me just see what else I can do about it. And the minute we say that, there's a channel opening of possibilities. And because we didn't kill ourselves with the, you know, okay, let's just cut down that, you know, that dream of ours or that goal of ours. I mean, it's never going to happen anyway. If we just keep that open, we have this, okay, that sucked, definitely wasn't very good, let me see what else can be done. You can be sure somebody else is already on their way to helping you, because you've kept an open mind, your eyes can see what else is possible, and soon enough you have synchronicity, which is preparedness meeting opportunity. Right.
I love what you've just said about programming. That's got me thinking when I teach a couple to dance. And what can happen often is sometimes, let's give an example, the guy is actually all right. He's never danced before. And the reason he's all stiff is partly because during the lesson, the lady is saying, oh, he can't dance. Oh, bless him. He can't. No, oh, he's not going to be a dancer. He's not a natural dancer. So throughout the whole time, I have to separate them to actually get anything done. Because although she means well, she's trying to help him.
Yes, right.
So she's actually disempowering him.
Absolutely.
Overloading him with information when she herself isn't an expert in dance.
That's right.
Very interesting to watch.
Absolutely. But see, and we don't even know what we're saying. This was something that was told to us so many times. It ends up being a program, something we keep repeating. And we have that same, I call it also the inner bully, because this is a voice that says, oh, don't be silly. Who do you think you are? I mean, did you I grew up in a family, God forgive my parents, I love them, but I mean, I grew up in a family where it was very much the conversation. Who do you think you are? You know, we're not good at this in the family. We don't make so much money in the family. Don't be too hopeful. Don't have too many dreams, right? And they don't want you to set yourself up for failure, you know, so they don't want you to suffer too much. So they mean well.
Yes.
But it's dreadful, right? So sometimes that's what I mean.
That's right. They don't want you to be disappointed. They're trying to protect you.
So that's it. The programming comes from very well-meaning people.
So that affects our resilience. So
absolutely.
Give up. Do we, in general, do we sometimes give up on tasks that we perceive to be too tough? Is it because our programming keeps us safe?
Absolutely.
Let's give up now, so I don't have to suffer disappointment. Is that why we give up?
Yeah, that's right. And then that's the thing, that it's going to be a regret at some point, right? I mean, somebody's going to be on their deathbed and going, "Oh God, why did I not push past? Why?" Well, it's too late when you're horizontal and ready to breathe your last breath. But that happens to a lot of people, because it's like we listen to the voice that said, "But you don't want to, you don't want to set yourself up for a fall." As I said earlier on, you don't want to be so disappointed that it kills you. What kills you is regrets. What
Right.
can a regret kill people? It's a regret of you didn't do everything you could
Right.
to give it a shot.
The feeling of disappointment, of embarrassment,
Yeah.
of the feeling of fear and discomfort.
Yeah.
These are the things that can stop people doing anything, whether it's learning to dance or whether it's
Yeah,
trying something new.
absolutely.
So I guess from what you're saying, is it right? Have I got this right? Do people give up because the feeling of failure is just too bad a feeling? Or is it that's a feeling that to fail is like a place of danger?
Well, it depends what they've heard about the word failure, and that's exactly what I do with the 2 steps I share with people, to try and, well, I don't try, we just get it done, to impart a new, different perception about the word failure, right? So
Mm.
if failure equates, or that's the end of it, okay, I can't try that again, or failure is one step closer to your goal, okay, that way it didn't work. It's to be more like children. If a kid in the playground is trying to jump that loop, right, and they didn't do it the first time, they're not going to go crying and not try again. They're going to do it and do it and do it until
That's
they get
right.
it done, because they're having fun. They're not jumping through the loop the first time as the end of the story. They're like, "Oh, that's challenging and that's kind of fun." So
Yes, it's so true. Like I often say to our dancers, if we're uncoordinated in the first lesson, it's not embarrassing. Imagine that you're a toddler just learning to walk.
that's
You
right.
fall over. I can't see a toddler falling over, folding his arms and going, right, that didn't work. I'm
That's
not going
right.
to try. They
That's
keep
right.
laughing.
Yeah, that's exactly right,
Going
Joo-Lee.
to the walk. Yes.
So it's like this, it's like that's what I meant, the meaning we attach to anything and how it makes us feel. So it's in this particular case, it would be clearing what you think you know about failure. Failure doesn't mean the end. Failure means, oh, it's only a word, by the way. That means you tried that way and that way didn't work. Let's try another way, right? So that's just a choice at that moment. At the moment that this perceived failure happens, is like, what am I going to do with this? Am I going to drop it, or am I going to try another way? And I mean, obviously, you know what side I'm going to invite anyone to go is to go, okay, let me just delete the feeling that's like, okay, that's not for me, or I'm not cut out for it. That's not true. you know the truth is, are you willing to keep doing it? Do you love what you do enough? Is this something I would invite someone to really consider? Is this something you really want to give? Is this your art? Is this your passion?
Yeah.
Because it's hard enough to try and do any kind of entrepreneurial uh, venture if you're going to meet challenges and you're going to meet difficulties. If on top of that you're not really wholeheartedly into it,
Yes.
because that's another mindset we were taught in school, to do something just to make money, right? It's a very big thing.
It's an
Okay.
end goal. Making money is the end
No,
goal.
that's right. So the first thing to correct is like, why are you doing what you do? What does it do for you? The feelings of doing anything we do is usually because, one, we grow, two, we contribute to other people,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
three, basically we're being of service. So doing something just for the money, I think, is not going to have enough fuel behind it to make sure the person, the entrepreneur himself or herself, has the staying power to keep going. So that's the very first thing here. The second thing is, if it is really your heart's intention, your gift, that thing that you're here to give, right, it's still going to be really hard, but you're going to have the staying power, and you're going to be able to go, no, this is really what I want to give. This is what I'm here for. Well, one of the things I'm here for. So let me just find other ways to, to approach it. And that's going to be
Yes.
a fairly, defining stage right there, is, why are you doing what you're doing? Number one.
That's right. I'm so interested in what you're saying about internal programming. is it possible to believe in ourselves so much and change our mindset and change our beliefs, and that we will eventually be able to change our outward circumstances? Is that possible?
Absolutely,
Can you
Joo-Lee.
give me an example of someone you've worked with and that's changed? Because
Yeah,
you always think, if I win the lottery, I'm going to buy a big house,
yeah,
on a big cruises, and I can buy a big car, and my life will be more secure, and I can give presents to my friends who will make
yeah,
me happy. But how does it work from the inside?
yeah. You see, that's that thing of saying, when I have that, I'll feel a particular way. That's the trap that we, even people who are very, very in tune spiritually and have all the awareness they need and all the oomph they need to keep going, right? This is always putting your peace of mind, your achievement, your joy into the future, right? When I have that over there, I'll be able to do that over there. Right now, I'm not really everything I can be because I haven't got that yet. So that's the first thing. The other thing is that things don't really, the outside, the way I work with the subconscious is to understand really one simple thing, is that your external reality, your body, your state of health, your state of energy, the friends around you, who you have, is an exact 100% exact printout of the subconscious thought forms you hold that you're not aware of because they're subconscious. So let me
Yeah.
rephrase that, is anything that you're seeing on the outside that you don't like, that is not quite where you'd like it to be, is showing you what you're thinking that you're not aware of. So when you see it, you go, wow, unless that had materialized the way that it is right now, I wouldn't have got a chance to clear it in my own perception on the inside. But when you do that, when you clear, when I give you an example of when I did get that cancer, because I think it speaks volume. I didn't ask for cancer. Obviously, I didn't ask for cancer, but I did get cancer, and I'm like, wow, amazing. I didn't realize that I held some thought form that eventually, produced the cancer. But I'm like, okay, it's not a reality I want to amplify or keep, obviously. But I didn't go into panic or fight mode. And it kills me when I hear people say, oh, I lost my fight to cancer. Yeah, because you don't fight cancer. Cancer is your own cell, so you have to fall in love, not in fight and fear, right? When I got the cancer result, I got, oh, wow, that's amazing. I didn't realize that this kind of thought forms, fear-based, it must have been, because this is what results in cancer. I didn't realize these unconscious, fear-based thought form were in me. But they must be, because I wouldn't have produced that cancer otherwise. So instead of seeing it as a hard result that cannot be shifted, instead I went, wow, amazing, I don't like the result, but thank you for showing me, because I wouldn't have become aware of it. And then I proceeded to clear my own thought forms around any fear I had about not cancer, because I never thought about it, but about survival, about, it's a long story that I'm cutting short, but I began to clear these thought forms that were in me that I didn't realize were producing results like that. Now, you asked me to give an example of other people, right? And I can give you a really good example of a lady who, she was already in her 50s, I think. That's many, many years ago. She took the class a long time ago. The class used to be called Connecting the Dots, and it was in person. And she had this wonderful business going. She had a fantastic business plan. I mean, she bought another house to actualize that business. It was supposed to be a healing center. She had it beautifully decorated. This was an in-person class, so we all, I was able to go to her house and see what she'd done with it and everything. And she wasn't making any money. No money, Joo-Lee, zero money. And so she had to buy the house. So she has a mortgage going on and everything. And the thought form that she had was, right, this is what I love doing. This is what I'm doing, this healing center. It's going to be really successful. Wrong. Okay, I don't know where that thought form came from, that she wanted to do a healing center. There's a lot of things we do because we hear it somewhere else and it sounds like a good idea for us, but it is a program. What I mean by a program is it's not inspired for you exactly. So it's a good idea out there, but to you it wouldn't work at all. Okay, and this is the result she was having. She was making no money. So she cleared her own, subconscious thought form. She got really aware of, day by day how she felt, and she used the 2 steps that I discussed earlier on. I know I'm not giving the steps on this webcast, but we're just chatting, right? This is not the place. And within 6 months, this is what happened. She closed down that business, okay, and she turned that business from a healing center to a care for the elderly. Hello, completely different. Because by clearing the idea of this is what she's going to do to serve the people and this is really her calling, it wasn't her calling, clearly, she had a whole new business plan in place, and within 6 months she began to make enough money to employ not 1 but 6 people. Okay, today that lady is in her 60s. She's planning for a whole village for the elderly in Ireland here, and she's still working on it because it's a whole new different set of problems now. It's a huge project.
She didn't get put off by the fact that her first idea didn't work, her original idea.
She was horribly depressed for a while. Of course she was, nearly dropping the whole idea, nearly dumping the whole business. Yeah, because these are the
dark place for a while.
Absolutely. This, you see, the path on the way to really living this life you really want to live, living these, these beautiful purpose-filled moments, is not always this pink path that people think of when they're hearing, let's talk about freeing yourself from the inside out, and let's talk about clearing what's in you. So it clears the path for what you're really supposed to be doing here. And when you really do what you're supposed to be doing, it's still going to be hard. You're still going to meet challenges because it allows you to grow into who you came here to be. So a goal is really good when you actualize the goal, but if you've actualized a few goals already, you will have noticed that it doesn't matter how many goals you actualize, there'll always be another one. So what's the important thing? Is the important thing achieving goals? Because there'll always be another one. You'll always have more desires. I would say that's not the important thing. The important thing is who you're becoming in the process of that.
Yes.
And that person that you're becoming in understanding how to stay absolutely aware and be able to deal with your own resistance, what I call the programming. This is what's making you in the person that you came here to be.
Yes.
I have that phrase, which is you're far more powerful than you were told or than you were led to believe. This is so true, right? There's so many levels to that, because even when you think, oh wow, I'm really working in my purpose now and everything, it's nowhere near what you could be doing either, because you're endlessly powerful. But we have all these sets of beliefs that keep us down, right?
Yes.
So another example of somebody on the class is somebody who had cancer as well. And she was getting ready to die for 2 years. And she had a young son. So it was going to be like, how she was focusing on when she was gone, how her son was going to be affected, how her husband was going to be affected, And so when she came first to the class, she was preparing to die, which,
yes,
actually it's something we must do, all of us, to prepare to die, but by staying in the moment and by doing everything you can and saying anything that you needed to anybody, so you feel a level of freedom, so you're ready to go any day. It's a very different story from knowing you're going to die and there's nothing more you can do about it, right?
Yes.
So again, it was a fear-based amount of stuff she was carrying that when she freed herself from that, the results stayed positive, and she's still alive today. I'm going back 6 or 7 years, so she's, that would be another good results that somebody got from just choosing to work on their own internal mental, emotional freedom, from which comes all other freedom.
There's so many methods that we hear about, and I've picked up on what you said, connecting the dots. So many different methods to help your clients, and the latest thing I'm hearing from you is connecting the dots. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, that's really good, Joo-Lee, because it's actually, there's so many things out there. Exactly what you just said, it can be really confusing for people. And there's plenty of wonderful things anybody can go and look at. Over 30 years, I've distilled, we'll say, configured and distilled a method that's only got 2 steps, that if you'll follow, that's why I call connecting the dots, because it's about, first of all, you have to know how to regain peace of mind. This is the number one problem today. People don't have peace of mind. They don't stay in the moment because we are pulled by so many things all the time. So the first step is dealing with that. And the second step is affecting the subconscious. So connecting the dots is about, you know, that thing, know thyself.
Yes.
That was etched in, all these many years back. This is really about knowing yourself. It sounds really sad what I'm going to say, but it took me 30 years.
30 years to know yourself.
No, to design a very simple drawing that anybody can use,
Well, it takes a long time to make something simple for other people to understand.
That's it,
not
you
simple,
see.
But I've always said simple but not easy.
That's it, well, it's simple, but it's not easy, because easy would say it is easy as well, but it includes people practicing something every day. And you see, we all want the quick stuff nowadays,
Yes.
because we're in that world of madness and stuff. And so the steps are designed to be uber fast,
Yes.
uber practical, and integrated throughout anybody's busy day. So it includes very much what I was talking about earlier around mental, emotional, physical, the link between them all, and how these function. So you understand internally how you function, and so you can make a few little corrections that on the outlook, by the time you produce the results you do, knowing that results come from a particular mindset with a particular emotion, once you have a handle of how this works on the inside, the results you produce on the outside are very, very different. And by the way, it's nothing conscious what's produced on the outside. If you'll take care of your own mental, emotional, internal wiring is another way I call it, the results produced are naturally going to be a healing, or naturally going to be reordering the relationship at home, or doing practicing your business in a way that's actually going to give you more money. It's not trying to affect the external elements to feel better. It's exactly the other way around. It's how to make a couple of very, very small shifts so you feel better on the inside, and when you feel better on the inside, you naturally produce or magnetize the people in your life that can help you, or have the kind of opportunities that you've been waiting for. And because you're aware enough, you can actually see it, and because you can believe in yourself, you go, yes, thank you, I will take that kind offer you're giving me. You see,
so to learn this, I mean, I'm thinking about how people can get your help. Do they learn from you? Do you teach them, or do you go through a session with them? Do you go through a process with them? How would somebody who want to work with you get to work with you?
I love the people. This is what I'm here for. I want to make this so accessible to anybody in any amount of format possible. So what I have is the website, the drdugast.com, and this will be down below the video as well. There's free books. One free book with a master step in it that you can go right now and download. It's free of charge. There's no problem. With that, I offer a session as well, so people can read the ebook and then they can go, well, let me just talk to this woman and see what can be done for me, because my problem is big, nobody can help me. Or I've tried lots of things before, they don't work. So I invite anybody to come through the ebook. You get to be able to book for a session. There's free webinars that go on quite a lot of the time. Again, if you register on the website, you'll be notified of all this. I'm on Facebook with daily tips. And there's a few books that I wrote that are on Amazon that you can buy. Also, there's very little money, between 10 euros or dollars or whatever. And then I have in-person courses, and I have online courses for people who live. My audience is very much international, so I want anybody who wants to learn about this be able to, to get on a course. And so there's online courses. There's one happening soon. And then I'm doing retreats in West Cork and in Hawaii.
Oh, Hawaii. When is your Hawaii
It's
retreat?
next year. It's next year in March, right? So I mean, I really, and I do coaching one-on-one, of course, absolutely. If somebody has read the materials, I guess the book, if somebody wants to get as much as possible right now and they want to work with me and they don't want to overspend money, so they want to make sure, I don't know if I can even work with that person, getting the book, Connecting the Dots, which is on Amazon. I'll put the link as well in the video, is a very good starter, because you can read this and go, okay, I like the idea of, being able to, one, get peace of mind, and two, begin to know how to even, affect my own subconscious mind. So yes, I'm interested. And then we can either go from, getting an online session, or they can come on an online course or whatever. So, it's a reasonable way of getting the whole method. And
Yes.
even just reading the book will get someone quite far on. So I'm really here to serve. That's what I want to say. I do webinars sometimes, and I've done some really bad webinars. I want to clear that up.
I'm sure I
Because
have listened to your webinars. I think they're great.
I know, but I mean,
From listening to those.
yeah, I have some strengths that are really, I have some, my thing is serving people. And then I have some other areas in my own life that I'm working on very much at the moment, like getting my work out there is a big challenge for me because there's a demand, all right, but the sales and marketing thing, I must say, it's not up where I'd like it to be. So I want to say to anybody who's listening to this, if you've been on one of my webinars and you feel you didn't get enough, or it wasn't, the format of the webinar wasn't good enough, please still go to my website and book a free session with me, because it's probably not, I want people to get a good impression about the work that I do, and I'm not always brilliant at presenting myself. That's what I want to say, especially when I've got a time limit. So I invite you to come
Well,
along, book yourself a free session, drdugast.com, and you'll be able to know if I'm somebody who has something to offer to you.
for everyone who's listening to this right now, I'm going to say that Mayana is so modest and so humble about her work. Okay, so although she talks about the webinars not being great, it's because she is not all about promoting herself. Okay,
Yeah,
you are somebody who is so passionate about getting your work out there. Your specialism isn't about teaching sales and marketing, far from it. The reason
definitely.
you are trying to work on your sales marketing is because you have so much to give, and in a very busy marketplace, in these days of very busy social media, it's hard to get the word out there.
That's right.
So, for everyone who's listening, I just want to say Mayana is somebody who's heartfelt. She does everything from the heart, and she is true and authentic. There's nothing superficial or false about her, and there's so much out there that you hear on Facebook or anything on the internet where people are just shouting out about their skills.
Yeah.
And Mayana is somebody who just wants to help you. So I would urge you to ignore the fact that the webinars aren't good, because
I paid her to say that.
because it's her opinion. It's her opinion, and I'm going to give you an opinion as an outsider that her webinars are great and they benefit me. Of course, when somebody is giving you a free webinar, it's not a one-to-one session.
Yeah.
So maybe you get 80% of it. 80% of it is useful to you. Maybe 50% of it is useful to you. But that webinar is a gift. Okay, it's a gift. So I would.
Thank you, Joo-Lee.
So if you truly want a more tailored approach, then sign up to her one-to-one session. Then you can talk to Mayana directly, as we are now. How will people sign up to you on a one-to-one? Is it on your website?
Hey, would you like to be my marketing agent? You're doing a good job here.
I think it's about.
No, thank you. Really, that's
what we really think. I think the best opinions are the ones from people who have benefited from your work.
Yeah, but I just want to own up as well, because here's me giving an example of how things can suck sometimes, right? So it's like, okay, I have my own limitations, and I may have peace of mind, by the way. I've raised 3 kids and I'm a grandma. I have 100% peace of mind. And this is
Yes.
really what I want to share. But I do suck at a lot of things. And one of them is the marketing thing. And I just want to say, that it's okay to own up and not let it stop you. By God, it's not going to stop me giving webinars. I may reframe them and everything, but I just wanted to say that here's an example of how I practice my own stuff. I always say I'm my own best student. So it's like, okay, this didn't work out as well as I had hoped it to be, and it's not going to stop me carrying on, getting over my own bullshit, whatever it is, right? And then we keep on going, because we're here to serve, and this is my heart's passion. So
Well, it's been a wonderful opportunity to talk with you. You are somebody who doesn't talk the talk. You walk the walk.
Thank you. Thank you.
You live what you live by your principles and what you teach, and you're not somebody who is simply born perfect and resilient.
Oh God, no.
You've gone through a lot of challenges, and you've distilled all your life experiences and your methods and your research into helping everybody. So I hope that everyone will take a look at Mayana's website, because she's giving you this gift of a few free sessions. So thank you, Mayana, for speaking with me. It's been
thanks for your time. Thank you. Have a really good day. Thank you so much.
You too. Bye-bye for now.
Bye.